Awesome. Well, welcome to Cooking Skills Academy. I'm Chef Paul. This is Chef Manny here. What I'm going to do first is tell you guys a little bit about the school so you guys understand how we got here. And then I'll tell you guys a little bit less about myself and Chef Manny. And then we're going to get to battle. Are you guys a competitive group? Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, once all these bottles of wine are gone, I'm pretty sure you guys will be really competitive. So, you don't need wine to be competitive? That's good. That's good. Well, I will tell you guys this. Cooking Skills Academy has actually been around for about a year and a half, but kind of on a smaller scale. How many of you guys are actually from Chicago? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 55 years ago. So you don't live here anymore? No. Where do you live now?
California.
Oh, I would love to go there too, so I don't blame you. But we've been around for about a year and a half, but initially it started where, obviously we're inside of design first, with a lot of the customers here and the people who build kitchens, you know, they build like $100,000 kitchens. Say, okay, what am I supposed to do with this thing now, right? So they'd invite different chefs and different restaurants in to basically teach them how to use their kitchens, but only like 6 people at a time. And it wasn't really an academy per se, right? So then initially, about 10 months ago, I took the school over. Before this, I was the executive chef with Wildfire Restaurants for about 10 years, or 8 years, sorry, I'm not that old. 8 years. Before that, for Wolfgang Puck for 3. And I would actually do all their PR and marketing. But Chef Manny here has worked for some great chefs from like the Ritz-Carlton, North Pond, Prairie Grass, and name a few restaurants he's worked at out here in Chicago. So he comes from great restaurants as well. So, but him and I will basically be teaching you guys today how to cook for the first 40 minutes. That's how it works. We're going to be doing a real quick demonstration. All right. The rules are really simple. We're going to demonstrate how to make something. There's one person from every team that's allowed to take notes. So you'll notice you guys all have a clipboard there. You can flip that piece of paper over and take your notes to decide who the best note taker is there, because only one person's allowed to. All right? We're going to demonstrate for 40 minutes, okay? And then each of you only have one lifeline throughout the whole time you guys cook, because we're going to make something, then you guys only have 25 minutes to duplicate what we just did. Okay? So you have to duplicate it. We're going to put a timer up here, some upbeat music, but you have one lifeline. So between that whole 25 minutes, you guys can use us for a total of 2. So when you absolutely need us, you call us. Your time begins. You have 2 minutes with me or Chef Manny, okay? And then we're going to come over there, and we'll help you guys. And once your 2 minutes is done, that's it. We're going to convert this once we're done into a judges table. You'll see your team name, Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, Team 4. You guys all have an idea on that other side of the clipboard what team you are. You just have to make sure your food is on this table before the timer's up. Okay, and then Chef Manny and I will be judging you on basically 3 very easy criteria. Number 1 is taste. Obviously your food has to taste good, okay? Number 2 is presentation. It has to look pretty, all right? It has to look pretty. And number 3 is the similarity, okay? We're gonna make something, we wanna see how closely you were paying attention. So we wanna see if you're gonna make it exactly how we made it as well, all right? The winning team actually runs away with a very nice prize. Hammerstall is a knife company that actually works with Bobby Flay and Emerald, and they sponsor our school. These are $99 Santoku knives, all right? The winning team, each of you get 1.
Good for the head luggage.
Yeah, good for the head luggage. Perfect, right? Looks like this is being FedExed home. But this here, you guys will be able to take this. If you win, you'll be able to take one of these home. And then we'll give you guys some information, even though you guys are far away, maybe in other states, how you guys can stay in touch with us, because we have a ton of great things online where you guys can still watch us and get questions. You know, you can't email Bobby Flay right now and ask him a question, can you? You can, but he probably won't respond to you, right? The Academy here, we want to know, things that you guys want to learn, and then we basically make videos out of them, and we respond to you guys. We're here to help you guys become better home cooks. So that's the whole idea. Are there any questions before I start my demonstration? Yes?
Are we allowed to come up and watch this?
Absolutely. You know what I recommend is you guys all will gather round up here, not just sit, but I do recommend everyone will come up here. You don't have to, but I'm recommending it. You guys are more than welcome to come up here and watch me up close. Any other questions?
When it comes to the actual preparation,
Uh-huh.
you just decide who does what kind of
Exactly.
thing? No hard
So
and
once
fast rules?
once you guys go into battle, it's your team who decides who's doing what. Everybody's duty. That's your deal there. Yes.
Okay, when you say again how to present, is it 1 plate per person or 1 plate per team?
Great question. So basically, you all are going to be making 7 total portions of this food. 7 of the exact same item that I'm making. Okay? So you'll notice underneath your table you have 7 plates. The reason it's 7 is only 3 of those, okay, I'm sorry, only 2 of those, okay, have to be up here.
You didn't say that.
Okay? Only 2 of those. Okay? You don't have to do 7. Only 2 of those. Okay? So it makes it a little bit easier, but at the end of the day, you're going to be making everything at once. So then you can plate your food that you're going to eat after you get those 2 up here. So make these a little bit easier for you, right? You don't have to do all 7. That sounds like a lot, right? So what we're going to be making today is actually, I understand your name is Team Tango, right? Yes, we are. Yeah? What's Team Tango? How does that work? Team Tango. You guys, so tell me what Schenker is. What do you guys do?
The logistics.
Like logistics, like freight and stuff like that? Okay. So Team Tango, that means you guys are from all around the United States?
Canada.
Oh, the what? Canada? So the United States?
Exactly.
So, yes?
This actual transport application for air and sea freight, network global operation.
Wow.
Whoa, cheers.
You get a knife if you repeat it.
Yeah, no.
I think Philip said it wasn't important, so it's okay.
So basically, you guys all know each other really well already, right? You guys work together, but you guys, that's awesome.
Working
That's working on it, right? That's why you guys are here. Okay. Well, because it was Team Tango, Laura decided it would be fun to do kind of a Latin theme, right? So today what we're going to be making is some pico de gallo to start, something really simple for you guys. Okay, that's going to end up being our garnish on our dish. The next thing we're going to make is something called salsa verde, which translates into green salsa. All right, so we're going to make that with a couple of ingredients here. All right, after we make our salsa verde, then we're going to get started on our rice. Okay, now I do recommend that when you make your rice, you start it first, because the rice is going to take the longest amount of time. And then the last thing we're going to do is make something called arrachera, which is essentially skirt steak.
No rice cooker?
I'm looking at him.
I'm Asian.
You're it, man. I'm looking at the rice cooker. It's you. Yep, for everybody. So then after that, we're going to sear off some skirt steak. We're going to plate up the rice. We're going to plate up the skirt steak, and we're going to finish it with the pico de gallo garnish, and that's it. Okay? So real simple. We're going to start with the rice. What we have here is some basic long grain rice. Now, you could use Asian rice or jasmine rice. That works well as too. So I'm going to get my pan nice and hot here. Now, how do I know if my pan is hot enough? What's that? I put a little oil in it, right? Okay, so essentially this pan can only be in 3 places, okay? It could be either too cold, it could be too hot, or it could be spot on, right? Let's start with if it's too hot. If it's too hot, it does what? It smokes, right? It burns, okay? It smokes. If it's too cold, what happens when I put the oil in? Nothing. The oil just kind of sits there. It's really still just like in one little place on the pan. It doesn't move around. If it's hot, but it's not too hot, what does it do? It runs like water. You guys notice that? Okay, it runs like water. So now that it's toasting, I'm going to take my rice. I'm going to put that in there. And the key thing here with the oil is you want to put enough to coat all of the rice. Okay, you don't want to fry the rice. Okay, I'm not deep frying this rice. I'm literally just toasting this rice. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that all of this rice is evenly coated with all of this olive oil. See this here? See how it's evenly coated? I don't have like a puddle of oil around. I just want enough oil in there just to toast the rice, okay? So while my rice is toasting, I'm just gonna toast it for a minute or two, okay? I'm going to prepare my salsa verde, okay? So I'm gonna take these are tomatillos, okay? Now how do you guys know, how many of you guys actually use tomatillos? Anybody ever cook with tomatillos? They're a little bit different than green tomatoes. These here are a little bit more acidic, and they come with this little husk on the outside that you actually have to peel off, okay? So I'm just gonna take the husk off of all of these, and then I'm gonna just cut these down roughly and roast them because we're gonna end up pureeing them. Now, the challenge with you guys is 2 teams. You'll notice there's a blender or Vitamix on each post. 2 of you guys are sharing it. It only takes about 30 seconds to use it, so we'll see who gets to it first. So now what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna take these tomatillos, and all I'm gonna do is cut these into pieces, just like that, all right? Because I'm gonna roast these. Now, here's a 10-second knife skills class. Okay, we have a 3-hour knife skills class. Here's the 10-second knife skills class. Your knife is designed to slice. A lot of people do this with their knife. They push, right? Okay, slice with your knife. It goes through much easier. That's what your knife is designed to do. Okay, so all we're gonna do here is slice these all into about the same size pieces. Okay, so the larger ones, you'll probably wanna slice down a little bit more, right? Into 3 pieces here. Now, all of you guys have the exact same ingredients that I have. Okay, you all have the exact same ingredients that I have. And all I'm gonna do with these is basically roast these because I wanna get some flavor into these tomatillos for my salsa. Okay, so now that all of these are about the same size, what I'm gonna do is take my garlic. I'm just gonna cut this in a couple pieces here so I can roast that off. okay? I don't want to leave them whole. I want to break them down so that they all toast about the same, okay? I'll take my cilantro here. So you see how this here is toasted like that?
Are you on high heat or low heat?
This is about medium to high. Medium to high, yeah. Medium to high there, okay? And every burner is going to be a little different based upon, your heat there, okay? So that there is toasted really well. Now in my other pan, I'm going to get this nice and hot, okay? I want this to be hot, okay? I want this to be hot, okay? I want this to be really hot. I don't want it smoking hot, but I do want it really hot, okay? Because I'm going to end up caramelizing all of these tomatillos, the garlic, the jalapeno, okay? All of this. I am going to leave the cilantro out while I caramelize it. And I'm going to take half of my onion, okay? Half of my onion here. I'm going to caramelize this as well. Now, I said your knife is designed to do what? Slice. Okay? So, you guys probably have all heard those little tricks and things that people do so that they don't cry when they're cutting onions, right?
Yeah.
What are some of those myths that you've heard so you don't cry?
Put the peel under behind your ear.
Put the peel behind your ear?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
I'm not gonna get any action tonight if my head smells like onions. Okay? What's that? What else? Run water. Okay?
Put a piece of bread in your gums.
Put a piece of bread in your gums. Okay?
And don't cut.
Chill it. Okay? Chill it. Okay?
Don't cut the ends.
Don't cut the ends. Okay, now all of those are really good, and all of them are basically avoiding one thing. What they want to do is they're trying to dissipate the gas. Like if you put bread under you're not going to breathe it in as much. If you rinse it under cold water, you're not going to get the gas that comes out of this. If you chill it, the gas doesn't dissipate as well. What do I mean? When you slice into onions or you cut into them, they release something called sulfur. And the sulfur is what's making you cry, okay? The sulfur is what's making you cry. So the key to a tear-free onion is a super sharp knife. Because if you slice through your onion, it doesn't actually release any of those gases that I'm talking about. You ever slice an onion and it's really wet, gets like all this moisture coming out? That means your knife is dull, okay? It means you're crushing it, okay? It means you're crushing it, and you don't want to do that, okay? So now that my pan is nice and hot, I'm going to add my oil, okay? Again, just enough to coat the bottom, nice and hot there. I'm going to take my mix here, my onions, my jalapenos, my garlic, my tomatillos. I'm going to put all of that in the pan. I'm going to saute all of that around, okay? And now I want to make sure this is one nice even layer, and I don't want to mess with it. Because if I keep mixing it, it's just going to steam. It's not actually going to caramelize. I want to let that go for like 2 or 3 minutes, okay? My rice is perfect now. See how it's toasted evenly all the way around? This here is probably about 5 minutes, okay? This here will be done in about 15 minutes, okay? Not yet. We're about to. So what we have here is a mix of basically garlic, water, and tomato that we blended for you already, okay, and a little chicken stock. I'm going to add this to my pan, just like that, okay? And I'm going to season this, okay? I'm going to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. So hopefully you have one person there that feels really good about how to use salt and pepper. Have that person season everything, because this is the do or die, okay? Seasoning your food, do or die, all right? So what I'm going to do here is just mix that all in. And then see how it's boiling already? See how it's boiling there? I'm going to turn this down to a simmer. Okay? I'm going to turn this down to a simmer. Okay? And I'm going to cover it. Okay? I'm going to cover it. And then I'm going to let it cook. You have to be careful. Make sure it's not too high or else you'll burn the rice. That's why I said a simmer. Simmer, cover it, check it halfway through, mix it, and then let it finish. Okay? Now I have my tomatillos here. You see how this here is caramelized really nicely? See how they're caramelizing all the way around? Okay? Now I'll move it, I'll put it in a nice even layer again, okay? I'll let that finish roasting off. And while my rice is working, my salsa verde is working now, I'm gonna make my pico de gallo. Now, the key thing with making pico de gallo is you wanna make sure that you use Roma tomatoes. Because if you use anything other than Roma tomatoes, it's gonna be way too, watery or wet. There's like the larger tomatoes, the 4x5s are the things that you use for sandwiches. They have way too many seeds in them. There's way too much water in them. And then when you go to make pico de gallo, it's just going to be like a soup almost. So you want to use Roma tomatoes, okay? All I'm going to do here is slice this Roma tomato in half, okay? Now there's a little core here, this little piece here. You can take the tip of your knife and make a very simple V-cut, just like this. And this little part pops out, okay? Very little waste, and I'm not going to use that, okay? Now what I'll do is I'll take my knife and see how my tomato's still kind of tall. So what I'm going to do here is just slice it with my knife parallel. See how my knife is parallel? It's not like on an angle, it's parallel. I'll slice it through almost to the end. It's not completely cut all the way to the end. So if I pick this up, it's still one piece, okay? So now what I'm going to do is take this and slice this about 1/4 of an inch And then I'll finish it all the way through. And I'll have a nice little diced tomato. Okay, see how I'm finishing it all the way through now? Now when I get to the end, I'm gonna have this little piece here, okay? All I'm gonna do is just finish that off, okay? Just cut it up into little pieces as well. And I'm gonna throw all of this into the bowl, like this, okay? I'm gonna do both tomatoes. Everything on your table, you probably need it all, okay? So we put enough on your table for all 7 tastings that you have, okay? So now this here is ready to go. See that there? I have that. Hey Mandy, do you have the water as well? So what I'm gonna show you is I'm gonna take all of this over to the blender, and this is what I was talking about, okay? Who gets to the machine first, okay? I'm gonna finish this off with a little bit of salt and pepper. Rice is cooking. I'll come back to the pico de gallo in just a minute. So if you all could follow me to that blender right over there. Okay?
I follow you wherever you go.
Careful, it's hot. Everything is in here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little bit of water here for you guys. You don't want a lot of this, but if this doesn't start to blend, then you can add a little bit of water to it. I don't recommend a lot of water because that's really going to take away the flavor. Okay? So what I'm going to do here... I didn't add any. I just left it there just in case it doesn't come together for you guys. And if it doesn't, then add just a little. Don't add a lot. Yeah. Okay? So now take a look at this. Okay, can you guys see what that looks like? Okay, can you smell it?
Yes.
All right. That right there is essentially salsa verde. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this as our sauce for the skirt steak. Now that didn't take more than what? 15, 20 seconds? So now you know what I mean. You guys aren't really going to be using the blender that much, but whoever gets to it first, you're going to have to wait for the other team. Okay? Can you see the rice here? All right? The rice doesn't take very long. Okay? What I'm going to do is actually turn my heat down. This is a little bit higher than the simmer. And we're going to bring around a little bit more water at your stations just in case you feel like it needs more water. Mine, I'm going to let go. So I'm going to turn this down. See how it's more of like a high? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish my pico de gallo. Okay? So now all I want to do is dice up the tomatoes. Okay? So I'm just slicing through with my knife here. Okay? Up until this point, are there any questions while I'm making the pico de gallo?
Is there a reason?
First thing we did.
What's that? What's the first thing we did? Can we start from the beginning?
Turn the stove on.
Is there a reason why you slice only half, or you don't slice it all the way?
What's that? Why I slice only half?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Not all the way.
Not all the way through.
Oh, just so it's easier so everything stays together. Because if it all falls apart, then it could actually become less uniform. So I keep it all together so it's easier to control, and also so that it becomes more uniform as I'm cutting it.
All right.
Okay? So here, let me show you this method that I'm using. It's called the rocking method. Okay? It's where you slice moving forward. Let me show you in slow-mo. So what I'm going to do is slice, move forward. I'm going to pull back to get over. I'm going to slice moving forward. I'll pull back to get over. And then once you get that basic rhythm, then you can pick up the speed. A lot of people actually think you're slicing moving forward and slicing moving backwards. You're not. You're only slicing moving forward. Okay? The reason you don't slice coming backwards as well is because you lose speed, and then you also lose consistency because you can't really see what you're doing when you come back. You can only really see that forward slice. Okay? So now I have in here my tomatoes. I'm going to take some onion in here as well. Okay? Now, this here, to 2 tomatoes, you don't want to put a lot of onion in this, okay? You want to have about probably a 90% mix of tomatoes to 10% onions, okay? You don't want a lot of onions. The onion is going to be too strong for it, okay? So what you guys have there is enough to make it for 7 dishes, okay? So again, I'm going to use the same technique that I used with my last tomato there. I'm going to slice it almost all the way to the end, okay? And then I'll just finish dicing this through. I'll add this to my tomatoes as well. So my onion, okay? I'll mix that. And then I have a little bit of cilantro, all right? I'll just take my little bunch here. I'll bunch it up into one little tight little bundle, just like that. And then what I'll do is I'll just end up slicing this real fine, just like that, with that same rocking method I just showed you guys, okay? Just like that. And then I'll just finish slicing that.
Hungry.
I'll take this in here.
And some chili, we like it nice and hot.
Yeah, and that's why we got some jalapenos here. Hey, Chef Manny, can I get a couple limes? I don't have any limes.
You like it hot.
I need some limes. Okay? So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to show you guys the pepper trick. You guys ever clean green bell peppers at home and you get seeds all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show you a trick so you don't have seeds all over the place. Right. So the first cut, you take the top off, okay? So slice off the top. Take the top off. All right? Then you take the bottom off. Okay? That's slice number 2. The third cut, you bring the pepper all the way to the bottom of the board. Okay? My knife is nice and parallel. And then I make one initial slice in here. And with a little bit of pressure down with my knife to hold the pepper skin in place, I'm going to finish by opening this pepper up like this. See how I open up that pepper? Just like that. And now what happens is I get all of my seeds out, and then there's no seeds in the middle.
Yeah, but the seed's the one that make it hot.
Exactly. So if you guys like it hot, you put the seed and the pith in there. If you don't want it too spicy, just use the outside. So now here's that rocking method again, okay? I'm going to slice moving forward, and I'm going to pull back to get over. Slice moving forward, pull back to get over, okay? Notice I'm doing this with the skin up. I do it with the skin up because if I do it upside down, you ever slice a pepper and you pick it up and it's still connected, right?
Yeah.
So do it with the skin side up so you basically are guaranteed getting through that skin, okay? So now that I have all of these that are nice and julienne like that, okay, into nice little sticks, now what I'm going to do is finish it going the other way, and then I'll have my nice little dice here as well. So now I have my dice, okay? I have my diced jalapeno, just like that. And now I add all of this diced jalapeno, depending on how spicy you want it, but the skin isn't that hot. So you can add all of this, the skin's not that hot. This is what's hot. If you want it hot, you add the seed and the pith. After I season it with my salt and pepper, I'm gonna take my lime here. I'm gonna roll it around just a little bit, just to soften it up so it's easier to squeeze. True or false, limes have seeds?
False.
False. Only lemons have seeds. Yeah, limes don't have any seeds. So with limes, you don't have to worry about squeezing it, getting seeds in it. Only has juice. I didn't know that. Yep, see? No seeds. Only lemons. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is just squeeze this all in there. Okay? And how do I know if I have enough lime juice or enough salt and pepper? Well, every station has these. Okay?
Yes.
Tasting spoons. No double dipping. Okay? It's my biggest pet peeve. The first thing I look for when I go into my restaurants is tasting spoons on the cook station. Right? Manny? Okay? If there aren't any tasting spoons, they go home. Because I don't want them dipping their fingers in the food. I don't.
At home,
That's
I
disgusting.
Can do that, right?
Sure, you could do that at home, but you know, for me at the restaurant, I don't want to do that to you guys, right? You know, I have a lot of friends that are chefs, and I don't want to know where their fingers have been, and I definitely don't want them in my food. So that's why we make sure we have tasting spoons. Okay? So we have some lime here. I have some salt and pepper, and then all I'm going to do with this is basically mix that around. Okay, make sure everything's really nice and marinated. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my skirt steak. Now I'm going to give you the basics to cooking a great steak. Okay, now here's the biggest problem that people make when they make skirt steak, or they eat skirt steak. When you get to the restaurant, it comes in a nice long piece, right? It comes in a nice long piece. Typically, the piece has the grain. See how on this piece of steak, it has the grain. It runs a certain direction, right? Usually, that is running exactly. So the way you cut it, so your meat ends up being really chewy. So what you actually have to do, let's just use this for example. It's running this way usually, okay? What you have to do is actually cut off a piece of the steak and then turn it and cut it against the grain and then eat it. Because if you don't, then your steak is going to be really chewy, okay? Now what's the key to making a great steak? Number one, you want to leave that steak out for about half an hour to 45 minutes so it comes back to room temperature. I don't ever want to cook a cold steak. Why? Because if I put a cold steak on the grill in a saute pan and it cooks through, you're literally warping the steak. That's why it's going to shrink, right? And then it cooks unevenly all the way through the middle. If you start with a steak that's already kind of warm, it's going to cook more evenly through the middle.
Is that why that happens?
Yep, exactly, yep. So the secret really, number one, is first making sure, yep, and it just shrinks. You got to make sure that it's room temperature first, so that way it cooks more evenly throughout. Makes sense, right? Now the second thing is you want to make sure it's really dry. Okay, so make sure it's really dry. Once it's really dry, I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper on both sides. Okay, so now I have salt and pepper on both sides. Okay, salt and pepper on both sides. By now my pan is going to be nice and hot. Okay, move that oil around. So now what I'm going to do is I have my pan about medium to high heat, right? Medium to high heat. Now I'm going to lay this in there and I'm not going to mess with it. If I mess with it, that's where I'm going to screw it up. Okay, the moment I lay it in there, I'm going to let it just sit and cook. Okay, now here's the key thing. When you lay it in the pan, lay it in away from you. Okay, away from you. Okay, I'm going to check the temperature of this by laying just the tip in here to see if it sizzles. It's not sizzling. Okay, it's not sizzling, so that means it's not hot enough. So I'm going to let that go for just another minute, or I'll turn my heat up a little bit. That's what I'll do. Now let's check on the rice while that's heating up there. Okay, so now I'll take my lid off the top here.
Nice rice.
Okay, and now we'll just mix this around. It may stick a little bit at the bottom because it's rice, okay? We'll just mix this around. See how that rice kind of falls apart? We call it oven roasted. Okay, so now you see that rice, see how it still falls apart? Okay, see how that falls apart? I'm gonna taste it just to make sure my salt is on. That's smoking, so I'm ready. Probably too ready, okay? So I don't want the smoking, but I do want it hot enough. So now I'll lay it in there, like that. I turned my heat down a little bit because it was too hot. I'm laying it in away from me, so I don't splatter oil on me or my forearms, right? I lay it in away from me, and I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna let it just cook, okay? I'm gonna let it just cook, all right? So now, I'll let that cook, and we prefer medium rare, which is good news for you, because it takes less time to cook, okay? For you guys, when you guys cook yours, for yours, there's no time limit on it, so if you guys want to eat yours well done, you guys cook it however you guys want to cook it, okay? But for Mandy and I, you just have to cook it medium rare. Now, how do you know if it's medium rare? There you go, you got it, okay? So everybody open up their hand like this. This right here is rare, okay? Meaning if I were to touch my piece of meat right now, see how soft that is? That feels like this to me. It's soft because it's still rare, okay? Rare. This here is what we're looking for, medium rare. It's still soft, but it's kind of firm, okay? So you're gonna cook this for a couple. Middle here, medium, okay? Medium, see how it gets more firm? This here is medium well, and then this is well done. See how firm it is? So now what we're gonna do is we're getting ready to plate, because I have everything done here. I have my rice, I have my pico de gallo, I have my salsa verde. My steak is gonna literally be done in a few minutes here, okay? So I'm gonna start plating, all right? What I have here is my triangular, that's not a triangular plate, rectangular plate, okay? I'm just gonna take 2 spoonfuls of this on one side of the plate, just like this. 1, 2, and a nice even mound like that, okay? Then, I'm gonna take my spoon, I'm gonna place it in the middle, I'm gonna run it down one side. You see how that looks? Okay? Looks like Food Network. Very simple. Okay? Just like that. Then I'm gonna take my rice. Okay? I'm gonna take my rice here. I'm gonna lay it down right over here. Okay? In one nice even little pile. Now, sometimes less is more. Okay? So we don't need a lot. Okay? Now what I'm gonna do is take my steak, I'm gonna flip it over, just like that. See how it's nice and golden? Okay? See how my steak is nice and golden like that?
Yes.
All right?
Very nice.
We'll let that finish on the other side. And while that's finishing up, I'll just tidy up here. While that's cooking, any questions?
How many minutes was it on for the first time?
This here is
3 minutes?
medium rare. I would say about 2 minutes on each side. You don't want to overcook it, because after I take it off, guess what? It's still gonna cook.
Right.
And as a little secret for you guys, we probably won't eat this till 5 minutes after you guys cook it. So it's still gonna continue to cook. So like the key thing is, let's say you come to the restaurant, you order a steak medium rare, and it's sitting in my window with all the rest of the food under a heat lamp for 12 minutes, it's gonna get to your table medium. It's gonna get to your table medium well, right? So that's why we have to make sure. Who here has been to Wild Fire? You guys? Yeah, right? Okay, we feed about 1,500 to 2,000 people a day, okay? Probably anywhere from 100 fillets, maybe 75 ribeyes, 50 New Yorks a day. Okay, so we cook a lot of steaks there. So we have to make sure we take that in consideration when the cook is cooking his medium rare steak that they ordered. He usually cooks it to probably like a rare to rare plus, because he knows it's gonna sit and it's gonna continue to cook. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these off. All right, so now I take my steak out. I'll take the larger piece and I'll lay it down over my rice.
Can you do a 360-degree turnover so I can see how
Oh,
it's
yeah,
going
sure.
around?
See how it's nice and golden? All the way around? Okay, just like that. We're gonna take the other piece, we're gonna balance it right on top of that piece there. And then I'm gonna take my pico de gallo mix. Okay, I'll take my pico de gallo mix here. I'm gonna lay this down
Needed a little bit of avocado.
right there, right in the middle, just as a little bit of a garnish.
Right in the middle.
Okay, and that right there, you guys have your finished dish here. You have your pico de gallo, you have your salsa verde, you have your Spanish rice, and you have your seared skirt steak. Okay, no, don't start yet. It's gonna start at 25, so I have about 50 seconds here to explain the rules. Okay, you have 25 minutes to cook the exact same dish we did. Again, when you need Manny or I for 2 minutes, just call us and we'll come over there to help you. You need 2 finished plates next to your team number. Once this timer goes off, We don't take any more plates, unfortunately. Okay? Fair enough? Yes?
Chef, can you explain how to turn on?
Yes, so turn your burners to the right until it clicks. Chef Manny will be on that side right there to help you guys get it on. Okay? Turn it once to the right until it clicks. And in 15 seconds, we will get started. The moment you hear the music, you could start cooking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys could start cooking now.
We win anyway.
All right, I need the pepper. What's the next thing?
Okay. I sort of diced
Where's
that.
my onion?
I got onion, I got onion.
Where's the half onion? Here, just put it on here.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what happened to the time. I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
Not just yet, I'll make sure don't too much lime.
Okay.
We're good.
Salt and pepper?
Yep.
After that, then that should be done. If it's browning, it's pretty good. Okay, lower it.
Teresa's got it under control.
They couldn't have cooked it that bad. They couldn't have
Hey, we gotta make the steak on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Did you already salt and pepper?
Did you put salt and pepper in that one? Nice. We have our extra pick because we put wine in it.
All right. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Woo!
Come on, we need a blender.
Do you think that looks ready?
Yeah, it is. I believe so.
More brown? You need our lifeline or?
We can put some wine in it if you want to.
Try it. Let me know what you guys think.
What do you think, Teresa?
Give it a taste. I think we're okay. Is enough lime? I think enough salt. Our blend master is here.
Yeah, put it in there and don't burn me.
Add a little cilantro when you blend it.
You put a little salt in there real quick.
And salt and pepper. And if you need to, add a little water, but just blend it first and try it. Nice. 2 pieces, okay? Yeah, we do 4 pieces. It needs more salt.
Are you put that cross?
I want a good piece.
I think a little, one more.
Did you taste, use that to taste?
What? This spoon? No, I was mixing.
You get your picture?
Yeah.
People, this is like football. We're not taking timeouts home, okay? Use the lifeline. Use the lifeline. Because if the game is over and you have timeouts and you didn't use it, it's your problem.
quicker than meat. We gotta hurry up. I know it's like 2 minutes aside. You guys just go with it 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're fine. Because really, all we gotta do is get 2 plates up there. The rest of it we
You need
can
to
cook
cook
later.
4 pieces
Right.
right now.
Who's gonna start getting plates?
Get ready to take this away, huh? We don't need it anymore.
That's done, I think. Yeah. Right? You check it out.
Oh, yeah. Look at you guys. We're at a wedding. 11 minutes. 11 minutes remaining.
10 minutes, sir.
We got plenty of time. How's the rice doing?
You're the enemy. Oh yeah, this is my art major comes in handy. Uh-oh, they have 1 chunk right there.
They got the right guy on the rice. That looks really good.
Good stuff. Thank you. And it's sticking at the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna lower the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, it's kind of burning on that side. Watch out. Maybe more oil. I think it's smoking. We need to put more stuff in there. Now we said don't touch it. 2 minutes. Go 8 minutes right now. We gotta go about 6 minutes.
Hey, how's the rice cooking? Penny. How's the rice cooking? You guys are smart. You guys are making more than one dish and picking the best from it, right?
Yeah.
You guys are smart.
Okay, you gotta, I think it's pretty much almost done.
We're in crisis mode.
Jack, we have to cook all of our everything, or we can cook yours first and then.
Yeah, you could cook mine first, and then
We tested
even
ours.
while I'm tasting, you guys can finish
Yeah, we
making yours.
tested ours first just to make sure.
Cool.
That looks good.
Oh yeah, you guys look awfully similar, huh?
Very good. We're done already.
That's what he said.
Okay, this is their pieces. So count 2 minutes, 7:27. In 2 minutes, we gotta flip it. So 5:27. Can you time that? Yep. Okay.
And we could drink that. What do you want?
I need a drink.
You need a drink?
I lost my glass. Now my phone.
She's nothing like a girl you've ever seen before. Disrespectful. The way that booty moving, I can't take
Teresa, rock it out. What are we doing here?
4:27 will be 1 minute.
1 minute to go.
3:47.
Okay, put one.
Put the bottom one this way. Here? Yeah. That way.
And then take this one. Take
And then
this
the
one.
smaller one.
Drop it. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
More
Now
of
that's
an
it.
angle, like
Now
90
that's it.
degrees.
Like, yeah.
I think that's good.
Okay, now this one. Which piece? Bigger piece?
Bigger piece, yeah.
Which one do we like? Let's do this one.
Look at this guy showing off over here. You get extra
way?
points for that.
Cross a little bit more.
Yeah?
3 minutes remaining. 3
Come on,
minutes.
let's go,
3 minutes.
You gotta make it in like a pile, right? Yep. Yep, inside, yep. A little more, I'd put a little more like in making it round.
Wow. Oh my. Whoa. Whoa. Hey. You better get control here over here. Oh, under the wrong team. You guys are team 1.
Yeah, team one.
Oh, there you go. I know you was dancing.
2 minutes, guys, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Cilantro, extra thingy. go.
Wanna do it?
Come on, do it. And the singing here.
Good, Teresa.
Bit longer, one and a half spoon longer like that. Yeah, perfect. Do it on the other side of the phone.
1 minute, 20 seconds.
All right, come on, let's get it played up. That's it.
Okay, let's all agree.
Ready to go?
Is that our best effort? Are we agreeing this is our best effort?
Wanna try another one? I don't think we have time.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Are we all?
One minute for minute, right minute.
This is the number one. This is the team right here.
We'll do it, huh? Let's do it. All right. With our team sign? Our team sign?
It has to be similar.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is everyone here?
So underneath every 2 tables there, you have one of these red roll-ups. Okay? This is actually going to be your place setting. So all you have to do is place it down on the table, roll it open, and you have your place setting with your fork and knife and napkin in there. Okay? And then whenever your food is done, you guys are free to eat. Okay? While we're tasting. Okay? We'll turn the music back up and we'll come back with the results in a little bit. So awesome, guys. Give yourself a round of applause because was that fun? Was that not a ton of fun? So 25 minutes flies by, doesn't it? Oh my God, it's gone.
You want some wine?
Oh, no, we're good.
You get it from Team 2.
What's that?
Two is the magic number, you know, like you were 2. Right? That's us. There are 2 steaks on there, there are 2 plates on there. So 2 is really a number that is really important. Right?
Like that. The wine. Moment of truth, right? Right here.
39 fingers game.
I need to remember who's writing my check after this, right? Exactly. That's why you had her on your team. Hey, move away.
Everybody else was up here during their team. I just want to watch, that's all.
It's a tough job. That man.
Yeah, taste us.
Yeah. So add up all your points. Give me yours. We did almost the same thing. We know the winner. Now here comes the hard part, because I do kind of feel like my life is at risk. So everybody's a winner. No, in all seriousness. The clear-cut winner for me and for Manny was Team 4. So I do have to kind of, I have to interview Team 4 a little bit here. Who was making your rice here in Team 4?
You suggested it. We took your suggestion.
Okay. Really, that rice was really phenomenal. It was nice and fluffy. It was cooked all the way through. It wasn't crunchy, you know. Some of the rice, it was cooked at the perfect temperature all the way through. So really, nice job seasoning it. The steak too was spot on. It was a perfect medium rare. The presentation was key as well. It looked exactly like our plate. The Pico de Gallo had the perfect amount of lime and salt and pepper. So whoever was responsible for that. But you guys did a phenomenal job. It was really, really delicious. So congratulations to you guys. I'm going to give you guys each. Give you guys each a knife here. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm glad you guys had fun. So, Laura, anything you want to add in there? We're going to let you guys finish eating. I'll turn the music back up. You know, there's no rush for you guys to get out of here. I want you guys to have fun, and we're just going to clear up things around you. But anything you want to add in, Laura?
Yes, I'd be happy to defer to Philip, our project manager. Philip?
Philip.
So, what you saw tonight is, first of all, what I think is there are different recipes that are going together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what you saw is like one was taking up the vegetables and cooking them and slicing them. Other one was like taking the initiative for the rice. The other one for the meat. So you have different qualities in our team, right? And we mix them together without knowing each other before what qualities we have, right? Some are good cooks, but some others are good slicers, right?
A little better, I guess.
So I think when you look at your plate and when you're eating, it's exactly the mixture of what we have in our team.
Would anybody like to taste
Right? And it doesn't have to be the winning team. It also be also team 2. No, it has to be.
Very nice.
No, but it can be like other teams as well. And we're good chefs together. Okay. So when we're going out there and do the presentation of our plate, it's the presentation of Tango that we're doing there. Number 1. And number 2, it is when we're eating it. That means when the user has the experience of using the software, right? That is basically what comes out of it. That's not when we are gone, right? This is what the user experience, and that's what we need to do, and what we need to accomplish all together. All right?
Cheers,
so
cheers.
cheers to everyone. Okay.
Amazing experience.
Okay. Very good.
Awesome. Thank
you.
you guys. Absolutely. You guys are awesome.